Yes, yes, yes. What's going on, world? This is your man, Buddy Romig, and we are back at it, y'all, with another episode of the Yeah Buddy podcast. And if this is your first time tuning in, hey, thank y'all for checking it out, the podcast. And if you're a returning friend, man, hey, buckle up, man. We are in for another excited episode. You know how we do every episode. I always try to bring some of my friends in the entertainment business. We come through, chop it up, see what we got going on. And this episode is like no other, y'all. This episode, I got my good friend. We both come from Yuba City, California, but now we're making waves out here in the Sacramento film community. This dude, he's an official movie critic. He has his third annual film festival coming up that he's going to be telling you all about this episode. And he's got a whole bunch of other things in the works that he has going on too. His TV show, a whole bunch of other stuff right now. But I want y'all to make it live and make it laugh. My good friend, Mr. Kierre Stowes in the building, y'all.
What's up? What's up?
Kierre in the building. Yes, sir.
For sure. What's up, man?
Yes, sir. Thank you for sliding through with shit like that, man.
Thanks for having me, man. Anytime, bro.
Mm-hmm. And here connected and stuff all like that.
Yeah.
So we had you when I was doing the Funny Business podcast, we had you come in and talk. I believe that was when you was doing like the first annual.
Yeah, that was our first year.
The first one.
Yeah, that was our very first festival. Mm-hmm. That's right. Yeah.
But now you're back at it for the third annual,
it's our
man.
third year, man. So just bigger, better, and just more films and just more people coming in, and it's just been great, man. Just the love from the community has been fantastic, man. So yeah. It's just the people have been rocking with us, and we're rocking with them, man. And it's just a beautiful thing, man.
So how did what are some of the things that you've learned from, like I said, doing the first film festival now to the third one, just for the schematics of just putting it all together?
Well, it's a lot of work, man. So, each year we try to get a little bit better and try to improve. So like every year we kind of look at like what worked and what didn't work. And so like the first year we learned really I need 2 days. Mm-hmm. And so that's when we added the second day. And then we kind of looked at this year, okay, well, we had a lot of features last year. So we kind of cut down the features so we could get more shorts, just so we could get more films. You know what I mean? And so those are just some of the kind of things that we learned. And then just the planning, the organization. I got more people on my team that are helping me out, so I don't have to put in the load. I used to have to watch all the films by myself.
Yeah.
Like the first year, it was just pretty much me and my wife watching all the films. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? So I hired, so now I brought on some actual film critics to actually help watch the films and judge and score the films. And I just feel like it makes it more of a cohesive festival now.
Yeah.
And now I know that, no one can say, oh, it's just Kier picking, films and things of this nature. I'm like, no, I got 10 people that are actually watching these films and scoring them and helping me determine which films are going to make it in the festival.
Yeah. Because I'm pretty sure you can get some people who in their fields get a little butthurt and stuff like that.
Oh man,
if they don't win or something.
Yeah,
like
man, we've had people, man, that we reject films, and I'm usually very thorough. If you're on my email chain, I'm always, letting you know exactly what's going on every step of the way. And I'm the same way with people that, like, even if I don't select your film, I email, especially the local, I'll email you directly and say, hey man, your film didn't make it into the festival. Here's what some of the things that we liked about the film, and these are just some of the things that maybe you want to work on or improve upon. But don't fret. You can always submit again for next year. And, we've had a lot of people that didn't get in like the first year, and now they're in the festival this time. You know what I mean? But some people just took it negatively, and they're just like, well, I'm never submitting to your festival again because I didn't get in. I'm just like, that's kind of not the good attitude to have.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of things that I didn't get in my life, and I didn't go, oh, well, I'm done with that. I just like, you know what? I'm going to come back even harder the next year, and then I'm going to make it happen.
Yeah. Well, it's also just the wrong mentality to have that, like, with your film festival, just because, like, from going to your film festival, like, you have one of the most well-produced film festivals in town,
Well, I appreciate that. I mean, the thing about me is I'm a film critic first. So I really do care about the films, you know what I mean? And that's kind of like my passion. Anybody that follows me on my socials, you'll know that's all I do is post about films almost every single day. I'm constantly doing movie reviews. Everything I do is pretty much film related. So I'm really passionate about films. And so when I put something together, I want to do it right. And that's why we do it at the IMAX, because it's the best screen in town. I mean, there is no substitute for me. Everything I do, I put my heart and my passion into.
Dope. So when it comes to, say, swing over to like the film critic side, watching films and stuff all like that, how many films do you usually like have to watch for you to be like considered like, okay, now I'm an official film critic? Is there some sort of like
criteria? It's kind of hard to say. It's a couple different ways, because like most organizations, they have an expectation you're going to watch at least about 150 to 200 films a year, that new films.
Yeah.
And so that's what I try to adhere to. I try to watch as many films as I can every single year. And I'm probably watching a new film, you know, at least 2 a week probably.
Yeah.
And then when we get close to like Oscar season or award season, like in the fall, I get screeners. And so I'm just watching films like on a database, just to keep up, you know what I mean? So because a lot of the, like I'm a film critic for the African American Film Critics Association. And, you know, they expect you to watch at least, they'll send you a list and they expect you to have seen at least 75% of the films that are on that list in order to be considered for their award ceremony in order to vote. And so I'd make sure I'm trying to watch at least 75% of whatever that list is. So if it's 100 films, that means I got to watch 75 of them. If it's two, you know what I mean? And just kind of go from there.
Do you ever get like a film critic burnout where you're like, you know, I just can't watch no fucking movies right now?
You know, I don't get a burnout, but the issue I have is I can't really watch films because I'm watching so many new films. So I buy DVDs all the time and Blu-rays all the time. I got like 1,000 probably Blu-rays, DVDs at the house. And like, you know, there's like some that I haven't even watched before, you know what I mean? And it was like my favorite movie of like 2022, and I haven't even rewatched it since I saw it in theaters just because I'm constantly watching new films. So it's not so much getting burned out watching new stuff. I just get burnt out and I want to be able to just like chill and watch some old stuff sometimes, you know what I mean? And so that's the burnout part that I get, because I like watching movies. It's kind of like my time to like relax and just, you know, wind down. You know, I get home after a day of work and I just throw on a movie or something like that just to kind of relax. So
one of the biggest like critiques that I hear from just like not from film critics, but just like the average like movie consumer and stuff like that is that like there's nothing original coming out of like Hollywood, coming out of the Hollywood studio system and down in LA. From you having to watch so many types of films, is that that you agree that there's nothing original, or it's just that's not nothing they're putting their big bucks behind?
You know, it's kind of twofold, because I agree. If you're looking for like a major blockbuster, it's either going to be a sequel of some sort of Disney intellectual property, you know, which would include like the MCU and things of this nature, superheroes, things of that nature. And that's kind of what dominates the box office for the most part. But there's a lot of really good indie stuff, you know what I mean, that comes out. If you watch the Oscars, right, most of those films were not big blockbuster films. Nora, most people hadn't seen. I saw that film, but most people hadn't seen it before it won all the awards.
What did you think of it?
You know, I liked it. It wasn't my favorite film of the year, but it definitely was in my, I don't know, top 25 or something like that. I did like it for what it was. I didn't think it was the best film of the year, but that's just my personal opinion. But I did enjoy it, and I do like that it only cost, which I know a lot of people say it's still a lot of money, but it only cost $6 million to make. You know, but it was competing against like Dune 2, which cost like $200 million to make. And so I kind of liked that it had a chance, you know what I mean, and one being, you know, competitive against like all these big, you know, machines that are out there in terms of the blockbusters. So.
I think they cut it at a right time too, because we're coming out of a time where like not just like the fires, but then also the strikes and everything like that. So just the whole people try to get back into the whole mode of like doing, it's Oscar campaign season or Emmy campaign season. Just the whole entire structure of the movie studio system has been thrown off. Like this was kind of just like the perfect time for that movie to come, especially because you're talking about like with the Nora, where you talk about like, you know, sex work, you know, sex world and stuff like that. And like with the whole Me Too movement being so big, you know, this is really, you know, even if you talk about the problem with the movie studios now, it even goes back to the whole Me Too movement. For sure. So for it to come back, you know, full circle now with this small indie movie.
And kind of empowering, you know, sex workers and things of this nature, which is something you don't necessarily see in the film. You don't see it, so it's
like, we'd rather have slaves.
So it is a little bit different in that sense. So I do like that aspect of it, but I agree with some of the sentiment that like the big movies, the big blockbuster movies tend to be, you know, sequels and Marvel films and DC films and stuff like that. And that kind of, I don't like that part about it, because it is kind of cannibalizing the film market. And so like some movies like Anora didn't really play that well at the box office. You know, I think it came out for about a week and then it immediately goes to streaming. And so my concern as a film critic is I like to be able to go to the theaters. You know, that's why I'm at festival at the IMAX. It's like, let's go to the theaters. Let's keep that trend going. You know what I mean? And so I don't necessarily dislike streaming movies, because it is nice to be able to watch the movie at home and not have to go to the theater. But I still want to be able to go to the theater. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't only want to go to the theater just to see Marvel films. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that part about it, it does frustrate.
You need like that strong to come.
Yeah.
Because on the flip side to that, like Netflix puts out a lot of original, what it looks like it would be big blockbuster movies, but it's just a lot of money put into like a made-for-TV movie.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And sometimes that is the case. But but Netflix, I will say, of all of them, they do have the best shot of getting a really big blockbuster. A film that could have been a block, but like Extraction with
Chris Hemsworth.
I really like those films, right? But that's a film that probably could have played that could have been like his John Wick, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they just decided to go on Netflix, you know. So there are some good movies to go to Netflix, but you know, I wish that more would go to the box office. So like Extraction would be dope to see on the big screen, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's just like straight action. Like I would love to see that on the big screen.
Yeah, it kind of takes I guess. Well, I mean, it just depends because it's still cool to see those type. It still feels like, you know, back when you got like bootleg movies, stuff like that. It's like I shouldn't be watching this on TV right now, but I am anyways. Like,
I mean that's pretty much streaming dead. It took over like the bootleg. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now you can just, you know, $20 you can get a streaming service and watch these films. Or the other issue with streaming though is that films in general don't play very long at the box office.
Yeah.
You know, they used to have a much longer run. Now it's like it's out for even like bigger movies. Like, you know, it'll be out for, but you know it's going to be streaming in a month. So a lot of people just say, well, why go to the theater if I can just wait 30 days and, you know, Netflix will get it or Amazon will get it or something of that nature. And maybe I pay $4.99 in some cases, but that's still cheaper than going to the theater.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people wait.
Yeah.
So I think that also kind of hurts the box office a little bit because now we're in that mentality where I'll just wait a month and watch it at home.
Yeah. Which also justifies like the big time studios decision, just like whatever's gonna make us money. We ain't got time to take no experimentation, none of these experimental films.
Because now, I mean, that's
we have
the problem.
a 2-month window to take this movie that we've been working on for the past 6 years.
Right.
We have a 2-month window to get into the green.
Right.
Like,
that's it, and that's all you got. You know what I mean? You might get lucky if it's a bigger movie and in the foreign overseas market, you might be able to get some legs over there. But by the time it gets to China, it's already streaming here. You know what I mean? So it's like they've lost that money in the U.S.
Yeah.
So
takes too much to even get back into the green because they got to at least make double what they put in.
Because of marketing and stuff like that. So if the film costs $150 million to make, you got to roughly figure they spent another $150 on marketing.
Yeah.
Right, because you got to have the actors go out and pitch the movies. You got to have the commercials. You got to have all the trailers, getting on TV. All that stuff costs money.
Yeah.
So,
which was another thing that I was talking about, like with the Nora movie, like how people talk about like it was a $6 million movie and stuff like that, but they put about $18 million.
Yeah.
So they knew what they was going. Yeah. They knew what they was going for. They was like, we like this movie cost $6 million to make. But to make it an Academy Award-winning movie, like, no, we put an extra $18 million in it.
Well, exactly. And they say indie, you know, and like $6 million or $18 million. It sounds like not a lot, but like I said, you talk to anybody here locally, anybody that come to my film festival, you know what I mean?
Oh my God,
they've never had a $6 million budget. You know what I mean? Like thinking like if they were able to get a $6 million budget,
$6,000.
and then have another, you know, $12 million of marketing on top of it. Oh man, you know what I mean?
Blow your fucking mind. Right. Like, oh my God.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. So. Then you just end up on Tubi.
Yeah.
Do you watch a lot of the Tubi movies and stuff like that?
I've seen some here and there, but I just stay so busy with having to watch like current movies a lot of times, so I kind of just stick to like the
ones that you're supposed to watch.
The ones that I'm supposed to watch, the ones that maybe have potential to see around award season or something like that. Those are the ones I try to gravitate towards.
Yeah. Another ones that just made on iPhone and with the wigs all to the side.
I save those for the festival.
Yeah, save those. Speaking of which, so it's like as far as the festival goes, like that. Are there any films like in the past? I don't know if you want to play like favorites with films that you're looking forward to or anything like that. But like, are there any films in the past that you sat back watching? You was like, oh wow, that's a good ass fucking movie.
Yeah, I don't want to talk too much about the films that are going to be in this festival because I think they all have value and they're all good. So I don't want to. Play favorites, and sometimes I have to do that because I go on other shows and stuff. And they ask me about, well, what kind of films are in the festival, and I explain some of them. But I know in the past, like last year, we had a film called "You're on Your Own, Kid," and it was like kind of a horror twist to it. I thought that was a well done film. That was a film that if he had the budget, I would love to see like a feature film based on that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we get a lot of features, we get a lot of shorts. But for the most part, they're mostly shorts that we play, and so it's rough because their budget's so small. They can only shoot for 10 minutes or 15 minutes, and so it's great in that snapshot. But you wish that they had a bigger budget so they could flesh it out and make it a little bit more expansive. So flesh out the characters, give you some backstory, that kind of stuff. So,
are you going to be in any of the films this year?
Yeah, man, I'm in one actually. So I don't really act a lot. You know what I mean? I used to act when I was younger, but I haven't done it in years. I'm really rusty. I'm out of practice, but I don't really act a lot. But every once in a while, somebody will ask me to do something, and I'll just say, you know what, that sounds like fun. If it sounds like fun, I'll do it. You know what I mean? But if it sounds like work, I'm not going to do it. Like, yeah, we need you to be here for the next 3 weeks. Shooting at 2 a.m. I'm like, nah,
12 hours.
No, that's not me.
And you're doing it for a coffee credit meal.
Yeah.
For the art of it.
Yeah, so I had a good friend of mine, his name Sean Kilcoyne. He asked me to be in this film. He did a parody of the movie They Live, the famous fight scene with Roddy Piper. That's like an 6-minute long fight scene, something like that. And so we did a parody version of that. It's kind of a slapstick version of it. So that film will actually play on Sunday, the 27th of April. So, so that's the only one I'm in this year.
Okay. I was gonna say because I went to the film festival last year, and shout out to Troy, man, because that film right there, that zombie movie, was probably like one of my favorite films.
Yeah, I know. Mike Rose, our mutual friend from Yuba City, he said that was his favorite film of the whole festival. So but everyone. So if it's fun, I'll do it. You know what I mean? A zombie movie, something like that. You want to kill me on screen, I'm good with that. You know what I mean? A slapstick film, you want to beat me up on screen, I'll do that kind of stuff. It's fun. You know what I mean? It's something out of my comfort zone, so I like it.
Okay, cool. And so I know we have the film festival is coming up, the 3rd annual Sacramento Movie Buff Film Festival. That's from April 26th and 27th. That's at the Esquire IMAX Theater in downtown Sacramento. Do you have the I guess the itinerary set yet? Or
we're still working on that. I haven't released it just yet because we're still working on getting the films massaged. And I don't like to roll out the itinerary because the IMAX is very particular about the films that in the format that they're in. They all have to be converted to DCP format. And so until they all get converted, I don't like to just break down exactly but on my website, it does have a list of all the films that will be playing in the festival.
Okay, how many films do you have total?
46, I believe.
Ooh.
Yeah, so 46 over the next 2 days. So over those 2 days. So it's a lot of films and 2 features included in that. So it's gonna be like boom, boom, boom. And that was one of the things that I learned is a lot of people. I asked people in the community, kind of what do you want to see? What this is for the community. What would you guys like to see in the festival? And they said more films. Yeah. And I said, well, either I got to add another date, or I got to figure out a way to get more films into the 2 dates that I have. And so that's what I decided to do for right now. But we do have plans in the future to maybe have a second festival at another time or something like that.
Okay, cool. And so if say we have an aspiring filmmaker, they want to get their film submitted to the Sacramento Movie Buff Film Festival. What's the process like for them to get into the film festival? So
we do everything through Film Freeway. So right now our submissions are closed, but they'll probably open up usually right after the festival. So it ends on the 27th, probably the 28th. I'll start opening up of April. I'll start opening up submissions on filmfreeway.com/Sactown Movie Buffs Film Fest, and they can just go there, submit their film. We have 10, 12 categories, something like that, between short films, animation, student films, whatever case may be. And they can submit there. And doesn't matter how early or how late you submit, we're going to give everybody the equal amount of time. And so we have some films that were submitted last year, April, that are playing in this festival. So,
dope. So you do your due diligence for every.
Oh yeah, absolutely, 100%. Yeah, we take time, and then once the festival season has closed, we take a couple of weeks just to knock out all the other additional films that we hadn't caught up on yet, and give every film an opportunity to play at the festival. So.
And you say you have a team now of people, stuff like that.
Yeah, so including myself, it's a total of 10 judges that we have.
Cool.
All of them are film critics. They're all well-known film critics in the community. And so they help me out tremendously watching films, and we disagree on films, and but we try to base it off of scoring. So I make every director or every critic go in, watch the film, score it on a 1 to 10, and then we look at the scores, and then that's a lot of times how we determine which film makes it to the festival. So it's not just me going, you know what, I don't like your face, or so film's not playing in the festival, or I don't like this. it's based on the scores. And so usually anything 7.5 or higher, you have a pretty good chance of getting in the festival. If the score is lower than that, then more than likely, unfortunately, it's not going to make it.
Okay.
So,
and then is there like is there a particular genre that you kind of prefer when it comes to just like watching films in general, and then like when it comes to the films that you want to see at your film festival?
Yeah, I have my favorites. I like a lot of action films. So if there's something where the action's really done, special effects, things of this nature, I like thrillers a lot. Horror films are really good. And I like comedies also. But yeah, if you have a really well done action film and it looks clean, it looks crisp and clear, then you have a pretty good shot of it playing at the festival. So if it doesn't look too cheesy, you know what I mean? It's probably you'll have a good shot or a really good thriller. Just really, it's got to be a really good story, you know. And I always tell filmmakers before you submit, who's your targeted audience? You know what I mean? Because I also try to think about the audience as well. So I try to play films that I feel like are going to be fan favorites for the audience, not just for me, but also for the audience. So I try to think, okay, is this a film that 300 people, 400 people in the audience would enjoy? Or is this a film that only I would enjoy, or only a handful of, really cinephiles are going to enjoy? So it's a little bit harder to play films that I feel like only like true cinephiles are going to enjoy, like something experimental, because some people may not get it or may not be that interested in it. So I try to look for some fan favorite films to play. So, but we do like a mix. So
and then I know, that you have some events going on tied into the film festival, so I'll get into the first one. The day before the film festival kicks off that Friday, April 25th, you have the Sacktown Movie Buff Film Festival Mixer.
Yeah, so the Mixer is going to be crazy, man. We're already almost sold out, unfortunately, so I don't know. I think there's maybe like 45 tickets that are still available. It's probably going to sell out in the next 2 weeks, but it's going to be crazy, man. We're going to have it at Features Explored. We've got the Lab Rat band coming. They're here in Sacramento. They are just blowing up everywhere, and I see them like all over town. They played with the Philharmonic, who was at our last festival, who ended up winning NPR's Tiny Desk contest. And then we had an R&B singer, Diamond Key, who's a personal friend of myself and my wife. And then we have a Jakari, who's a hip hop artist here locally as well, that just really passionate about his music. I just love his sound. I love his flow. And then we got my boy, our homie, DJ Mike Rose, will be doing on the ones and twos there.
Shout out to Mike Rose, man. Shout out to Mike Rose, of course. Good friend of ours and stuff like that. And Jakari's good dude. Yeah, Jakari, super cool, humble dude, but like the music that he makes, man, I'm like, shout out to
they're all. I've had them all on my show. And had a chance to sit down and talk with them and get their inspiration and what makes them tick. And that's what I like. I like finding out what makes people tick, what makes people do what they want to do. And, when I hear a story, I'm like, man, you'd be great for our festival. You'd be great for, our Mixer. Love to get you out there and just try to get more people involved and more, hopefully get some more fans out of it. So.
Yeah, one thing I liked about your Mixer is that I think I don't know if you know, for like going to different like organizations, things and stuff like that, you have one of the rare mixers where you could get like everybody from the community to come and just be in one place. They can talk and
and that's kind of what I like. I mean, I kind of want to just like, let's leave all that drama behind and let's all just come together and have a good time. And so you'll see people there at the Mixer that maybe outside of the Mixer may not be the best friends, but they're there, they're mingling, everybody's having a good time. There's good music, we're having some drinks, we're having some food, and it's just a really good cohesive vibe, because the festival is going to be busy, and I'm super busy during the festival. I'm answering questions, I'm trying to make sure the films are playing properly, got a lot going on. We got a whole award show on both days, and so the Mixer is just like a time where we can all just relax and have a good time and just enjoy the night. You know what I mean? So that's why I like doing the Mixer. And I try to bring in as many people from the community as possible, whether you're involved in film or comedy or whatever case may be, just come on down to the Mixer and have a good time and rock with us.
Nice. Like I say, you get, and then you also have the panel discussion. Too. I wish I had the flyer. I forgot to get the flyer update.
So that's going to be crazy too. So I hand selected. We're celebrating women in film this year. So I just basically hand selected some of the most influential women that I know within the community, and they're all leaders in this community. And it's not like they're just women that I just handpick, but these are people that, like, when you're thinking of like the biggest names in film, we've got, Lori Peterson, who's, the ED of the CFAA, which everybody knows that organization. We have the 3 local film commissioners that are going to be there.
Yeah.
We've got Donna Garreau, who's the executive director for Access Sacramento, is going to be there. We have Sally Forestier, who's coming off an amazing run with the No Address film that's just been just blowing up all over here in Northern California and elsewhere, which is a really, really powerful and moving film. So it's going to be a great mixer. And so for a lot of people, what they like to do is for their I said mixer, but panel. Yeah. A lot of people, what they like to do for their panel is they like to have the directors come up on there and do like a director's panel. And I would do that, but the problem is I have 46 films. I can't have 46 directors on the stage at one given time. There's just not enough time for that. And so I'd rather spend that time educating. Yeah. And these people offer programs, training, grants, sponsorships, things of this nature. And so I feel like directors and actors and producers and people involved in film, you're going to gain more from having these experts in the film sit down and talk to you about what they do, what their organization is all about, and how they can actually help you as a filmmaker.
Yeah, I think that's one of the huge impediments from like an actor's point of view. Like up here, is that actors we want to learn and take from other actors, but it's kind of like I feel like it's kind of like a dead end road trying to do it like that, just because. I don't want to sound rude or anything like that, but like an actor's not really going to put on another actor.
No,
he could refer you to somebody,
right, but it's
always going to be that casting director. It's going to be the producer. It's going to be the director. It's going to be somebody outside of your profession that's going to.
And so, like Sally Forestier, she's a casting director. She also is a producer. You know what I mean? So someone like that, you're going to get way more value from someone like that versus just asking your other friend that's just an actor. You know what I mean? He might tell you, hey, you should go talk to Sally. But why not just hear directly from her?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And then so another thing is you get to see a lot of movies early and stuff like that. You be film critic. I just seen a movie Freaky Tales last night and stuff.
Okay,
yeah. Have you got a chance to see?
I have not got a chance to see that one, unfortunately.
If you do get early screen of it, go ahead and check it. I get just a small hit. It reminded me of like it was like if like Pulp Fiction was on like an acid trip.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's one that's on my radar, but I just haven't had a chance to see it. But yeah, being a film critic, that is one of the perks. Is a lot of times I do get advanced screenings, you get to see stuff sometimes a week early, sometimes a month early, and it's fun to be able to see it before everybody else gets to see it. But I'm gonna be honest, I also really like just going and seeing it open at night too. You know what I mean? With just like a big packed audience, everybody's excited to see it, that sort of stuff. Yeah. So sometimes I purposely pass up on advanced screenings just because I want to see it opening day.
Because you feel like when you see it like with as an advanced screening, do you still feel like, okay, I'm in movie critic mode? Whereas if you see if you see it like on opening night with everybody else, you still see that anticipation. Everybody else kind of giddy. Like,
because when it's an advanced screening, a lot of times it is predicated that you're gonna get a review out the next day about that film and that to get people hyped to go see it. You know what I mean? But it's just different just to be able to just, go with my friends. Sometimes we'll have like a movie get together where we'll go eat dinner beforehand. Then we'll just go as like a big group, like 15, 20 of us, and just go watch and just have a good time. You know what I mean? And then we can be out of the movie. We can kind of talk about it, what we liked, what we didn't like, that kind of stuff. And advanced screening, sometimes I don't get that. You know what I mean? It's usually just me or me and my wife or me and one or two other people that I invited. You know what I mean? And then, that's it. So.
No, but that's cool though. See those advanced screenings, and then what are some of the other perks that come along with you being a film critic? The things that you say, oh yeah, this is what this is my shit right here.
Yeah. Well, I get the advanced screenings, but I also get a lot of really cool swag as well. So I do a lot of unboxing videos, so a lot of just movie swag stuff like that. So it's always fun just to kind of do those unboxing videos and stuff like that. So you just they send me stuff in the mail, I get to unbox it, and if I love it, I can keep it. If not, I can obviously regift it or use it as a raffle or something of that nature. So that's another one of the perks you get. Not so much financially with being a film critic per se. I do get a little bit of hits just from my being a social media influencer. So I do get paid from like Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and stuff like that for the reviews themselves.
Mm.
But more it's just about the perks getting into like the advanced screenings. I get invites sometimes to award shows down in LA and stuff like that.
Mm.
And haven't had a whole lot of time to just get down there and take them
Yeah.
up on some of those
Yeah, but
offers.
the fact that you
But that's
got it, yeah.
but that's something I do want to do in the future a little bit more once
Mm.
things kind of slow down for me a little bit. Start going down to LA and watching some of the awards and stuff
Mm.
around the award season.
Oh.
But I did go down to LA to see an advanced screening of the Tyler Perry movie when that first came out, his documentary film.
Oh, okay.
So I did get a chance to see that, and he was supposedly in the audience. I didn't see him.
Mm.
So Oprah was supposedly in the audience, but I didn't see her either.
Mm.
But that was really cool. But you know, his baby mama is the one that produced the film or whatever, and
Mm.
so you know we got to meet her and stuff like that, and it was a really cool event and affair. So
Cool. And then how much does social media play a role with you being a film critic?
huge role. I mean, I was probably so when I started. I built up an audience just based off my reviews. I was just like a freelancer basically,
Mm.
and so what happened was is my audience grew off of that. People gravitated to my reviews or whatever case may be, and so my audience started growing on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook and all the other
Mm.
TikTok now, I guess, and all the
Mm.
other little entities. And marketing companies started coming to me, so that's how I started getting advanced screenings and things of that nature. And then film critic organizations started reaching out and saying, hey, I think you'd be a great candidate for the African American Film Critics Association. I
Mm.
think you'd be a great candidate for, the Hollywood Creative Alliance, and oh yeah, I'd love to apply for that. You know what I mean? And so you got to pay your dues and you get in, but like I said, you get those advanced screenings, you get, sometimes you do get some cool swag, stuff like that. And you do
Mm.
get opportunities where, I haven't done it this year yet because I've just been so busy. But I know with the African American Film Critics Association, a lot of times they do panels with the actual actors and stuff like
Mm.
that. So like last year, the Holdovers, or the year before actually, Holdovers with Paul Giamatti.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I got an opportunity to actually sit in that panel and
Oh,
ask
wow.
questions of like Paul Giamatti and some of the actors in the film and stuff like that. So you get some cool stuff like that.
Mm.
So just to kind of just feel like you're kind of like that 2 degrees of separation or whatever, being able to talk to some famous actors and stuff like
Mm.
that. So
Okay, cool, interesting. Yeah, because I feel like social media is just one of those things. Like from an actor standpoint, it's really starting to become more pertinent to be on social media, to have this social
yeah,
media
you
presence.
kind of have to. I don't care what entity, not just actor, musicians, comedians. I feel like that's really where you're going to make your brand.
Mm.
Because if people are feeling you on social media,
Mm.
that can open up way more doors for you. It opened
Yeah.
up doors for me just being on it from just for the film critic stuff. So if you're like a comedian and you're on social media and you start blowing up just off your comedy skits or whatever case may be, that's going to open up doors to get you into some venues or maybe get your own special or something of that nature. Musician, same thing. And
Mm.
people see like, oh man, you've got 100,000 followers for your music, and like we'd love to have you at our next venue and play our next show and stuff like that.
Mm.
Social media is also how I found a lot of the people that are going to be at my mixer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like just on social media and saying, oh, I see this guy's, I see Jakari's always out there putting out new content, new music, or I see Lab Rats are doing shows like all over the city. I want to go check out one of their shows. And so it just kind of goes hand in hand with just like giving you more exposure, I feel
Yeah.
like.
Okay, cool. And then so like when it comes to being a film critic, what was the question I was about to ask you? It has something to be a film critic. I can't remember. All right, well, skip that, but skip that question. We'll go to the next question,
It's all
stuff
good.
like that. I forget. But oh yeah. So now like swinging back into like with the film festival and stuff like that. What is it that motivated you to say, okay, I watched enough movies and stuff like that. I feel now I have enough knowledge to now take being a film critic, and now I'm a throw a festival for people to watch these what I would consider quality movies.
Yeah, it's interesting because I was doing movie reviews at a partner, Jason, and he still works with me in my organization. And so we would do movie reviews and stuff like that. And so it was actually another film festival. It was an online film festival that reached out to us back east. And so a lot of people think that I got inspiration from somebody here locally, but no, it was
Mm.
actually an online film festival back east that reached
Mm.
out to us and said, hey, we really like what you guys are doing online. We would love for you guys to review some of the films that we have at our festival and then maybe have those individuals on your show. and talk with them. And so that's what we would do. We would watch those films at the festival. We'd have them on our show. We would talk with them. But the issue I was having is a lot of times people were like, oh, well, how can we watch this film or whatever case may be. And sometimes it was on the online film festival. But then we also had local people that were contacting us and wanting us to watch their films. And we would watch it, and then people would say the same thing. Well, where can we watch, Buddy's new film? Well, I don't know. It's on YouTube, or it was on here. It was, well, he sent me a screener, so you know what I mean. So I just came up with the idea. I'm just like, you know what? Why don't we just do our own film festival? And that way, local people here, if they're interested, they can just submit to the festival. And if your film's good enough, we'll play it at the festival, and then everybody can watch it. You know what I mean? You don't have to tell people where they can go. They can go to Sacramento Movie Buff Film Fest, and they can watch it there.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where that idea kind of stemmed from.
Okay. Okay, cool. Yeah, I remember the question now. So as far as like would be like a film creator, like actors or any other type of people, like we have like filmmakers, we have like mentors, people that we go to like to train or like learn from, get advice from and stuff like that. Is there somebody like that in the in like the movie critic world where you have like mentor, somebody says, oh, here's the proper way to critique a movie? Or
I mean, there's not so much a mentor, but I mean, I grew up in the day watching Siskel and Ebert or Siskel and Roper or Ebert and Roper, I guess later in the years, and Leonard Maltin. So I came from that old school like critic style. But for me, really, I just kind of branded it and made it my own, because I found that like doing like really long written reviews on films or spending 5-10 minutes talking about a film, your audience just kind of loses you a little bit. So I personally came up with the idea like, well, let me just keep my reviews like a minute and a half, really, really short written reviews, give you a brief synopsis of the film, tell you what I liked it or not, and that's pretty much all you need to do. And so I really didn't have a mentor that told me to do it that way. It was just from trial and error, figuring out, okay, what's really giving me the most hits online. And I just found like shorter was giving me more hits than sitting there talking about a movie that I love for 15 minutes, because nobody really wants to hear that. They just want to hear like, okay, did you like it or not? You know what I mean? So, and then, I don't want to give too much away about the movie either. I just want you to go see it for yourself. Just like, hey, here's the brief synopsis. This guy, he lost his wife and he's trying to find her or whatever case may be. I really enjoyed it. You should go check it out. And that's, and that I think that's enough for people to say, you know what, I am going to go watch this movie.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because one of the games things I usually do on the show is called like the Mount Rushmore or whatever. Or it's like you just do like your top 4 or whatever. But I didn't really know how to spin that for like this episode. I didn't know if there's like a list of like critics that like a director, like Spike Lee, John Singleton, stuff like that. I didn't know if there's like a
a critic. I mean, like I said, nowadays I just kind of there's not really one critic that I gravitate towards, because I just agree with critics all the time. So, but more so for actors or directors or something like that. There's definitely some actors or directors. If I know they're in a new movie, it's gonna. I'm going to be interested. I hear Denzel Washington's going to be in a new movie. I'm going to be like, okay, well, what's it about? You know what I mean? Not to say that I see everything he does, but there's a good chance it's going to be good. You know what I mean? So.
And then, so with you being having to be so heavy on social media and the profession that you're in, you're giving your opinion. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
People love to comment. People love to give their opinion right back. Do you get that? To be like, if you give a review on a movie that somebody's like they feel the opposite, do you see those in the comments?
I do. I try not to respond, because I feel like we live in a world where like people tell you don't read the comments.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like it's just like any post you see, right? If there's a post you see like on the news or whatever, it doesn't have to be political, just a post in general. You go to the comments, there's just so many haters out there that are just gonna say something negative, you know what I mean? And so I try to filter the ones that that say something negative, and just focus on the ones that say something positive. But people disagree with me all the time, and I just go, it's your opinion, you know what I mean? Like, hey, you don't have to agree with me, you know what I mean? And I'm not saying it's my opinion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I liked it. Maybe you didn't. You know what I mean? And there's nobody that's going to agree with you 100% of the time on every single movie that you like.
Yeah.
It's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
No one's going to follow you and say, man, every single time he just does not miss. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, there's going to be some movie where you're going to love, and someone's going to say, I thought it was hot garbage. That's just the nature of the beast. So I just try not to let it affect me, because it does happen sometimes, more so on certain platforms. I know like TikTok's really notorious for that, where I'll get like 20, 30 comments, and like I used to like you could get 30 comments, 29 of them would be good, one of them would be bad, and my brain would just want to focus on that one bad one. You know what I mean? So I really had to start like pulling back and just say, come on, just relax.
Yeah. Not that
29
serious.
people liked it.
Yeah.
Why do you care so much about this one person that didn't care for it? You know what I mean? Or saying something negative about you or negative about your taste in films. You know what I mean? Because some people say that. They'll be like, oh, man, your film taste is garbage. That movie sucked. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's people. I've had people say that to me. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, I'll just ignore the 29 people that agreed with me and focus on that one person that has something negative to say. And I just had to change my mindset, my mentality, to saying, you know what? There's always going to be somebody who disagrees with you. And some people just do it out of spite. You know, because there's haters out there too. You know what I mean? Some people see you're trying to do something positive, and they're going to try to knock you down a peg. You know what I mean? And that's just life. So.
No, that was just a question because I say, I get it from like the comedian standpoint and the actor standpoint.
Yeah, same thing. So if you're a comedian, put your content on. There's going to be some hater that's going to say something like, "I don't think you're funny." Like take any major comic. I don't care who it is. You know, it could be Chris Rock, Kevin Hart, Dave Chappelle. They post something, right? There's going to be somebody in the comments like, "He's not funny at all." I've never laughed at any of his jokes. You know what I mean? There's going to be somebody that's going to say that. You know, so. But that's you just can't focus on that, and maybe they don't like you, but maybe they're just being a hater. I don't know. You know what I mean? But the fact is focus on the positive. Focus on the people that are rocking with you, because those are the ones that are supporting you. Those are the ones that are helping you grow your platform.
It's so much crazy when you do look at it from the like just try to look at the positive, because like when you do, like how you say, you look at the negative, and that I don't know what it is about that. The negative only be about like 10% of it, but it feel like 100%.
Yeah, I mean it's just the way it is. It's like you had a job, right? And, you're going through a review, end of the year review. There could be all these great things that you did, but that one thing that you're not doing so well, that's the one that you like,
one day I came in late. What the fuck?
Right, you know what I mean?
5 minutes. But
it's that one thing, that one negative thing that they put in there. That's the thing that you're going to harp on. That's the thing that's going to keep you up at night. You know what I mean? It's not all that great stuff that they said about what you do well. Is that one thing that you didn't do well, that's the thing that's going to keep you up at night and got you stressing.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, so before we do wrap up this here episode of the Yeah Buddy podcast, Kier, tell people where they could find you at, and then we'll do one more recap of like the film festival.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. You guys can find me anywhere, man. Kier the Critic is usually what I go by on most of my social medias on or Sactown Movie Buff Film Festival. If you just type in Sactown Movie Buffs, we'll come up. We're the only organization that goes by Sactown Movie Buffs. So you type that in, we're going to come up on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, whatever case may be. We have about 60,000 followers right now on all of our social media platforms, and we'd love to have you as another follower and help us grow as well.
So go ahead and follow him, and then like I said, we have the Sactown Movie Buff Film Festival mixer. It kicks off. The film festival kicks off Friday, March 25th. 2025. That goes down at Futures Explore. That's at 2533 R Street, Sacramento, California. What is that, like a theater or something like that?
It's April also.
I don't know why I say March. April 25th.
So it's it's kind of like a co-op share space. The organization, they are involved in film though. It's called Futures Explore, but they basically work with I forget the actual term, but children with learning disabilities, and they help them like produce films and stuff like that. So it's a really, really cool organization. So when you support them, you're also supporting people with challenges and things of the nature that are trying to be filmmakers. So I always like to support that organization just because they are doing great work in the community with people that have challenges that are still involved and passionate about film.
Okay, cool. So, but yeah, my bad, correction. Yeah, April 25th, that goes down at Futures Explored. And then, of course, the 26th and the 27th of April, that's when the Sactown Movie Buff Film Festival actually kicks off, goes down at the Esquire IMAX Theater in downtown Sacramento, y'all. Sure. So, and where can people go to get tickets after that?
They can either go to my website, which is sactownmoviebuffs.com, which will take you to the link, or you can go back to the filmfreeway.com/SactownMovieBuffFilmFest. So either one of those will get you directly to tickets, and get them while they're hot, because the mixer's almost sold out. We probably only have about 40 tickets left as of before we started this interview,
Yeah.
so who knows now. And then the blocks are filling up quite rapidly for both days of the festival.
Nice.
Potentially could sell out.
Okay, cool. So what? So if you're gonna do one last sales pitch to the people here to come to your film festival, what would you tell them to get to your film festival?
Well, I mean, we have films from all over. We have films from NorCal, films from SoCal. We have films from other states. So it's a great festival. These are great films that we personally have vetted. Like I said, we have a team of 10 film critic judges that went through these films, and we selected, some of the best. And a lot of these films are really, really good films that definitely, they're shorts, a lot of them, but if they were features, a lot of them, I feel like, could be films that would go to a box office. You know what I mean? So it's just going to be a great time, a great vibe. My boy DJ Mike Rose will be there playing music in the lobby. So we always kick it and hang out in the lobby. So it's a fun little thing. So you don't have to just sit in the theater and watch films all day. You can take a break and come out and hang out with us in the lobby and listen to some music. And so it's just a fun vibe, man. So it's just a good time.
Dope. Like I said, my name is Big Buddy Romick. You can catch me, follow me at Buddy ENT on all social media platforms. You can listen to the Yeah Buddy podcast anywhere you listen to your podcast at. Including my website, www.yeahbuddyent. Like I said, this has been the Yeah Buddy podcast. This is my man Kier. For sure. Thank you for sliding through again, my guy.
Man. Anytime,
appreciate you, man.
100%.
Yes, sir. Hey, y'all, we'll catch you next time, man. And like I said, if you was a returning guest, thank you, man. Keep spreading the word about the Yeah Buddy podcast. And if this is your first time, I hope to catch you on the next episode, y'all. My name is Big Buddy. Catch y'all next time, y'all. Deuces.